Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and hello if you're new here, welcome. Hi, my name is Holly Boone. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, please subscribe, helps me out loads, I really appreciate it. So yeah, today I'm going to film a tutorial on how to get that photoshopped flawless looking skin. This is a technique that I actually used to do a few years ago and then completely just like, not even forgot about it, just kind of like tried out other techniques and then forgot to go back to it. But it's something that I feel like actually makes your makeup look so smooth, so flawless, like perfect. Like I genuinely cannot believe that I actually stopped doing this because yeah, it's the best. I'm going to show you a technique which is a mineral foundation underneath a liquid foundation. Sounds crazy, I know, but it honestly works amazing. I feel like it's the best as well if you have a medium coverage foundation and you want it to be a full coverage without having to buy a full coverage foundation or having to like build up loads of product. It's the best for that. Also, it's just the best for giving you that smooth, flawless base that's going to last hours and hours and hours. So yeah, if you want to see how I do that, then keep on watching. And also, my lashes are now probably going to get loads of questions about where they're from. I'll link them down below. They're only £8.50. They have a clear band and they just look so good. They look like individuals and I wear them all the time, so yeah, I will link them down below. But yeah, let's get on with the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. You can use any moisturizer you want or primer. I don't really believe in primer too much. I do sometimes use like a pore minimizing one, but for the most part I kind of just use moisturizer, or I'll use this face base. So yeah, you really want to make sure that your skin is hydrated, moisturized before you go in with makeup. God, I need a whole tub of moisturizer for this big old forehead. So next I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base as well, just a little bit of eye cream. This is important as well. Eye cream under your makeup is just a key product, in my opinion, to stop creasing throughout the day and just to keep your under eye nice and hydrated. It's definitely a must in my opinion. Even if you just do a little bit, makes so much difference. Okay, so a lot of people, when I said about the mineral foundation underneath liquid, thought I meant loose powder. I don't mean loose powder. You can put a little bit of loose powder under your makeup if you are really oily. You don't want to put too much on just because it will make your foundation cake. But you can do that. Also, you can put a little bit of loose powder underneath your base makeup if you have large pores. That will help to smooth them out before you apply your liquid. But yeah, this technique is a mineral foundation and it's going to make your base makeup look very smooth. Smoothed out, photoshopped, face tune, real life. Yes. The mineral foundation that I like to use is from Bare Minerals. I genuinely feel like this is one of the best mineral foundations out there. It's old school, it just works the best in my opinion. I use the shade Golden Medium in case you needed me for shade reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour some of this in the lid. You want to take a fluffy brush. Any type of fluffy brush is fine. I use this angled one and I'm just going to buff it over the skin. But you can use whatever fluffy brush you want. Saying fluffy brush multiple times is actually very difficult. So yeah, I'm going to take the mineral foundation from the lid. I'm just going to tap my brush in it like this. Then I'm literally just going to buff this over the skin. Literally all over the skin. So you can already see that it's kind of giving me like, it's really smoothing out my skin. You can kind of tell already. But yeah, this under liquid is just the best thing ever. A lot of people will be sleeping on this technique. If you are someone that likes natural makeup, then definitely try a mineral foundation on its own if you like natural makeup. Sometimes when I'm in the mood for just like really minimal makeup, just a bit of mascara, a little bit on the skin, this is perfect. I'll literally just use this mineral foundation by itself and a little bit of concealer and it looks really good. So just depending on my mood, but if I want like a flawless beat, then I will use this under foundation as well. So I just zoomed you in a bit because I did realise that the camera was quite far out, but as you can see it's kind of smoothed my skin a little bit and it's giving me like a little bit of a coverage. And yeah, so this is what I do, is I buff this into the skin. I'm going to apply my liquid foundation on top and you'll just see what I mean. Just makes it look so flawless. And it keeps my makeup on all day as well. I'm an oily person, so I always try and find techniques and stuff to keep my makeup on all day. And this literally keeps my makeup on, I'm not joking, 8-9 hours and my makeup was still the same as when I applied it. So yes. So for foundation, I actually really like the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless. So I use this foundation and then I put a tiny bit of the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in as well. I'm just going to apply this foundation, my liquid, on top of the mineral using a beauty blender. I do like to put foundation on my lips because it keeps your lipstick on for longer. A lot of people get confused as to why I put foundation on my lips, but it literally makes your lipstick last 5 times longer. So this is how the foundation sits on top of the mineral foundation. It just looks extra smooth and I almost feel like it gives my liquid something to sit on instead of my skin just absorbing it. And then I feel like throughout the day it kind of gives me like a bit of a barrier between my skin and then the liquid. It's kind of like a barrier, so it kind of sticks to just like the mineral foundation and doesn't like soak into the skin throughout the day and kind of like separate and stuff. So yeah, it kind of just sits on the mineral and then just stays all day. For concealer, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium Sand. If you're from the UK, you can actually order this from the official Tarte website and you don't actually have to pay customs fees, because I love this concealer and I was like, how do I get this in the UK? But you can get it from America and not have to pay import fees, just in case you was wondering, because I think QVC sell this, but sell this for like so much more expensive. I definitely think it's a concealer that you use and then you just don't go back to any other one. It's the best. Or if you want a drugstore recommendation, the Age Rewind concealer is really good. That's like my favourite, the Maybelline one. So I'm just going to do a little bit down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on the chin, and then I'm just going to let this dry down for a second before I blend it in, just so that my sponge doesn't absorb all the product. So again, I'm going to blend this in with my beauty blender. I like to blend my concealer up here, just to give me that kind of like more highlighted, snatched kind of look. If I want my face to look a bit more rounded, then I will apply like contour over here. But when I want my face to look a bit more wider, lifted, then I will blend my concealer up to here. So if you're going out on a night out and you want your makeup to look flawless in pictures, I mean Facetune Photoshop, this is what you need to do. Like, I promise you, your pictures are going to come out banging. You're going to be like, oh my god, makeup's never looked so good, I promise you. Photographs, literally perfect, and also it will last you all night. You won't feel like it's separating or you're sweating it off. Even if you sweat, okay, even if you sweat, this ain't coming off, I promise you. So I'm going to do a little bit of cream contour. I'm going to use the Makeup Forever HD stick. I love this for cream contour. It's just really easy to blend. And I'm going to actually use this cream cheek brush from Zoeva. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of this. I don't like to do too much because it is a very pigmented, because it's a foundation, it's quite pigmented. So I don't like to just, I used to apply it directly to the skin and then try and blend it, but I've just realised that makes my life 10 times more difficult. So applying it to the brush and then applying it to the skin is just so much easier. I've got so used to this quarantine lockdown. Like, I'll be sociable for like one day or like one evening, and then I'm just ready to not see people for like a month. Like, I'm really antisocial these days. I just like to be in my own vibe. It's very weird, I don't know. I feel like I just love my own space. I love just being in my own little bubble, yeah. How is everyone else feeling about like what's going on right now? I feel like I haven't like spoken to you all like properly in ages, and I feel like we used to have so many conversations, and now it's just like, I don't know, I feel like I go a bit ghost for a while, but it's just because I have a lot going on offline, so it kind of gets a little bit difficult to balance my life sometimes. But yeah, I kind of miss just like sitting and actually talking and doing makeup and whatever. Anyway, so this is what my base looks like right now. I honestly cannot explain to you how much difference that technique makes to my makeup. It just makes my base look so good, like so good. See how good this looks? I'm sorry, but it looks good. So I am going to snatch my nose because God didn't bless me with a nice nose. So I'm going to use my 235 contour shader brush from Zoeva, and I'm going to contour my nose just down the front. I want a little snatch nose. So I'll kind of just I'll go in with the contour first and then I'll go back in with the highlight. You'll see in a second, but I just kind of like to blend. So I'll blend with the same brush that I applied the contour with, but I won't apply too much to the point where I can't then blend with the brush. Does that make sense? So apply a bit and then just keep going over it to then blend it in. I will do the tip of my nose because my nose is hanging down here. So I'm just going to blend it up into the brow. This will make your nose look longer, so if you don't want your nose to look longer, then I would stop your contour kind of like here. Blend it upwards slightly, but if you blend it right into the brow, it's going to make your nose look longer. So it just depends what you want. So yeah, and then I'm just actually, instead of applying more, I'm just going to go with the sponge where I use the concealer, and I'm just going to press over the top. So I'm going to set my under eye with some translucent powder. And then I'm going to bring it kind of like down as well. When I bring it down, I'm only using the excess powder that's left over from the under eye. I don't like to apply too much because I've applied the mineral underneath. I then don't need to like really set the rest of my face, but I will just a little bit with like the excess on the sponge. And I'm going to set my forehead as well. And then again, just use the excess all over. And then here's a tip to get a really snatched contoured nose. So obviously I've contoured my nose, highlight down the middle, but I still have a little bit of like, I'd say shadows kind of here, and I want it to be snatched. So I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade 2, and I'm going to take my beauty blender like this, and I'm going to rub my beauty blender and pick up a lot of product like that. And then watch this, okay? My nose is about to be snatched. So then you're just going to apply this up the sides of the nose, like this, and then really kind of press it in. You can kind of bring the excess like under the eyes as well. So that will just give you an extra snatch. So like, yeah. Nose is snatched to the gods, snatched to the damn gods. Anyway, does anyone else get like a little bit of juice left in the bottle and then fill it up? Or is that just me? For bronzer, I've actually gone back to an OG, which is the MAC Give Me Sun. I feel like some OG products you just can't beat. Like I always end up going back to them. There's just certain products that for me will just always be a thing. And this is one of them. So I'm just going to apply this bronzer over where I applied that cream contour. I kind of use that cream contour as more of like a cream bronzer actually, to be honest, because it's a little bit warm, so it's more of like a bronzer rather than a contour. I kind of apply it in places where I would want a little bit of a contoured shadow, if that makes any sense. So for blush, I've actually been doing something slightly different lately because I like an orangey blush. I can't speak tonight, I don't know what's going on. So I use my Dare to Be Different palette from my brand. Yeah, mine's ruined, like literally it's a mess because I've used it so many times. And I'd like to use the shade Sassy from here, which is an orange, which looks like this. It's very pigmented though, so you want to tap off the excess. But I really like an orangey blush. So I'm just going to apply this on the cheek and then bring it back slightly. The blush makes so much difference. Like look at blush and then no blush. It just makes so much difference. I feel like it looks so much nicer. So I'm just going to press this on my cheek. I'm filming this video very late at night because at the minute this is the only time I have to film videos because all day I'm just so busy. So yeah, I'm filming this video and it's literally, I don't even know what time, so I'm going to put this makeup on to show you guys and then I'm going to take it off, so it makes me feel a bit upset. I hate wasting makeup. So I'm going to just use the excess on the brush and I'm just going to go like this. Just a tiny bit. It ties it in a little bit more. Okay, so I've just zoomed you right in so you can see what my skin looks like really up close. So this is what my skin looks like with the mineral foundation underneath the liquid. It just makes my base so flawless. I cannot explain to you how smooth it makes my skin look. I love it. So this is how I get an extra smooth face tune Photoshop type makeup that will last you all night. Photograph amazing. Also mineral foundation underneath liquid is perfect if you have a few medium coverage foundations and you don't want to have to then go and buy full coverage ones or build up loads of products and it wastes the product. Just get a mineral foundation, put a tiny bit on underneath, and then you have a full coverage foundation basically, and it really just evens out the skin, smooths it out, just makes such a difference. And like I said, I feel like it gives you that barrier in between skin and liquid where the liquid sits better than on the skin, so that after a few hours you don't feel like it's dispersed or it's moved in any way. Like your makeup will look the same hours and hours and hours later, I promise you, if you use that technique. But yeah, that is what I do. I will link the products down below in the description box. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.